So my name is Ravindra Punuru. I'm a founder and CEO of Cod AI. Cod AI is a SaaS platform focused on helping companies to accelerate their AI and analytics projects using generative AI agents, which truly understand their businesses. So based on our experience and industry benchmarks, companies lose hundreds of $1,000s every year by dealing with their inefficient BI workloads. So with the Cod AI, we can reduce 50 to 70% of manual work, and business users get 5 to 10x faster insights. Overall, data teams and the business teams become a much more productive, which results better performance, better business outcomes. So let's take a look at the scenario. Meet Alex. He is a regional sales leader at Yes Insurance Company. He wants to know why Q2 sales dropped in Southeast. So as usual, he opens up his dashboard and looks at it. It doesn't really it gives the numbers, but it doesn't really tell why the sales down. So he reached out to his data analyst for help, and who comes back and say, I need a 1 week time, because he's not lazy, because he wants to, crunch the numbers and, get back to him. So that is the bottleneck every company has today. So Alex found that there is a chatbot recently implemented in his company. Like any other companies doing experiments in their, using generative AI. So he asked the same question to the chatbot. Then it replied back saying that, okay, you're confidently saying that the sales dropped due to the weather, which is not correct, because Alex knows that, based on his understanding, which is not, the correct answer. It's not that chatbot broken. It is missing something critical, which is a business context. So chatbot doesn't really understand how the business runs in Yes Insurance, or it doesn't really understand the data, how the data laid out, or that business metrics. With a missing context, chatbot guesses the answer instead of giving the real insights. So that is what exactly we are trying to solve. So with the Cod AI, we unify business and the technical knowledge and create a corpus along with the generated data models and the metrics. Corpus is like a brain with the context of your business. With the corpus in place, Alex would have got the correct answer, saying that the sales down because of the product pricing changes, not the weather. So this is how corpus looks like in our platform. So users feeds business and the technical knowledge, and it automatically generates the data models and the metrics, which you see on the right side. So these are the conversational feature where users can go directly ask a question in plain English. The system would respond with the summaries and the key insights and follow-up questions where they can deep dive. So Cod AI plugs into your day-to-day tools like Slack and Teams, where users directly can ask questions to the corpus instead of switching the tools. Coming to the revenue model, we have a 3-tier pricing model: growth, sales, and enterprise. As customers adopt more and more, then our price scales. So coming to the market, we are targeting AI-driven analytics, which has about 32 billion globally and 13 billion North America alone as a TAM. So out of which we are picking up 6.4 million as a SOM, very conservatively, for targeting next 2 years. We are targeting businesses with 50 plus million in annual revenue. Coming to the traction, we are very early stage. We launched our beta in August, and we have a trial sitting on our website, and we ran about 25 demos and the customer interviews, and the feedback we are getting is very encouraging, and everybody acknowledged that there is a problem today and which needs to be solved with the AI. So coming to the team, myself, Ramindra, I'm CEO and co-founder of Cod AI. Previously, I co-founded Diota, which is a data integration platform that got acquired by ThoughtSpot. I have a Pete Lobster, who is a COO and co-founder. He worked many startup before, and he's a 2 times CMO for Paxata and Pravicera. The Paxata got acquired by DataRobot. So I'm asking help here to get some introductions to customers, partners, and industry influencer to help us to grow in our initial journey. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're on it.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very interesting. So I want to start with like just the materials you put up there, because there's 2 things we can do. We can deep dive content and then get into the substance of how you're delivering the content and then keep going. So I think like your solution slide, I don't know what the number was. I didn't see numbers, but it says solution. Like I would move that way up. So you spent a lot of time, I'm not sure how many minutes, I couldn't see the clock, but I just felt like you could have kind of gotten to the so what faster. So the concept that you deliver, like there's missing context inside of how AI or Gen AI is being implemented at these large enterprises. I think that's like the first or second sentence. Okay. That kind of then orients me a little bit, and then I can kind of bring everything else into the thought process. So like, I don't know, I've probably seen, I don't know how many, 15 or 20 Gen AI, agentic AI pitches in the past 45, 60 days, right? And the best ones always kind of just lock you in very quickly as to like, where are these guys? So like you're kind of enterprise centric, bringing context and efficiency to what I would call the early exploratory phase of how enterprises are going to use AI. That's just that might be what you're doing, but that's my reserving of what you just said. You spent 4 or 5 minutes saying that. I spent 20 seconds, right? So I would just tighten it up a little bit, and that's going to give you a lot more kind of pace and confidence as you then describe the product and then the tech. The one other thing I would point out up front, which is I think helpful, again, like this is happening like right now, like you're one of like this first, I don't know what to call it, cohorts of AI companies coming to market, is like understanding like how and why you built it and where you've kind of either trained yourselves or trained the technology to be more introspective. Like I don't have much context for that. And I've just found recently, like when that's part of the explanation and the pitch, it just really helps like kind of lock in your credibility and then where you're going, with the idea. I don't know if that made sense, but those are kind of just 2 big picture. One's a little bit more contextual to your pitch. One's a little bit more like how do you bring the audience in, right? Quicker, faster, better. To end on a positive, at least for my comments right now, like the substance of what you and your co-founder have done and the fact that you have exits and all that, like that's, yes, like I would say you could even move that up front as well, right? Like, why am I doing this, right? 1 or 2 successful exits. Why is my co-founder doing this? That's a really interesting hook, something to consider. Not to overplay your hand as a successful exited entrepreneur, but it really helps.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Awesome, great job, and thank you for presenting today. I know that's a big thing in front of everybody here.
Yeah.
On the highest level, and I'll always repeat some things back. I've subscribed to this line that 1 opinion is a point, 2 is a line, 3 is a trend. So I tend to tell entrepreneurs, if I'm the only one that you're hearing something from, chuck it up to this crazy guy, doesn't know what he's talking about. On the highest level, I also had potential issues with the intro. I was missing a little bit where you at, what's your stage, something about the market, and I have a pet peeve on the ask that I'm gonna kind of open up to the room. So intro, I think in your space, exactly as we just heard, we see a lot of plans that say, hey, data is too hard to analyze, here's AI for it. If you are in that space, I would like for you to earlier tell me exactly where you play. Obviously, you have a tough task here of catching up a whole room that might be all over the place of what they know in AI. When you're really just pitching investors that have made AI investments before, I would like to get to the differentiation earlier. I think, and for the room's sake and everybody listening online, I think there's a number of different ways how you can intro, right? We see fairly often a personal story, this idea of, hey, here's my background and I discovered this problem, so I partnered up with this person and now we're doing XYZ. The other very common one is leading with the problem. So for you, I wonder if I would actually start with Meet Alex. Hey, here's a guy who has a problem, but then go a little bit deeper. Go to this problem exists in this business. in my mind, you were a little bit broad, maybe with the ROI too. When I saw that ROI, I went to, well, a 50 employee company won't have that same ROI as a 5,000 employee company. So where are you playing? And then in my mind, I'm trying to dissect what does the market around you look like for that ICP. Again, stage where you're at, I think would be interesting to hear that market, who you're really selling to and what their alternatives are. In my mind, and this goes a bit more maybe to feedback or questions on the business, my guess is you have competition in a few different buckets. You might have competition in the actual analytics platforms that are starting to implement chatbots to understand their data better. You probably have competition from the enterprise-wide kind of AI orchestration layer, right, that can start limiting context, run small language model rather than large, right, get insights into hallucinations and the like, on top of, I think, everybody who's trying to do this. So I'd love to hear a bit more of, is there a clear-cut niche? Who has that problem, right? Really, how much are you saving them and the like? And my last point, and I think for this room, I say this fairly often, that when I love that people have an ask slide. I think you always should, because you should get something in return for all the practicing you've done, all the braveness in showing up here. I tell people, try to be very specific. So your slide was, hey, I would like customers or investors. Chances are I'm not going to follow up with you, because I'm just sitting and be like, I don't know who your customer is. In my mind, if you could put something out that says, I am looking for VP sales in companies 200 to 500 employees. Here's a QR code. Would you all, anybody who knows a VP sales in a 200 to 500 employee company, would you mind taking a quick picture? And I'll connect with you afterwards. I think that's what gets you something back, if you can be just more precise exactly what you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thanks for your suggestion. Yeah.
Cool. We have a couple of minutes back. I don't know if you had more. Otherwise, we'll open up to the audience.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, definitely, I agree with you guys. I have a story why I came up with this idea. I seen the last 25 years. I seen how BI struggles to build models to get their dashboards. That is the way, even before ChatGPT, I started working on AI ML to solve that auto-generating the data models. But with the ChatGPT, it makes simple. And my differentiator is basically we are auto-generating the ontology on top of the existing models, which is the foundational for AI to work. But all other chatbots are coming. They just point to the the database and they start asking a question. So that is the story. Probably I need to bring it up front to give them a clear understanding what is the difference. I agree. Thank you.
So I was waiting for you to say, I'm looking at the semantic layer. If you look back 20 years, metadata, right? All these things, until that becomes part of everybody's understanding, it's really kind of up to you to have to explain that quickly and then put that in the context of the product or the technology. Otherwise, 98% of the people hearing that are just going to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah.
Can I add something really quick? I think that's a great point, and just one quick thing to add. I think that would make the pitch a lot better for me. The one thing I would love after that is some proof, some customer value, right? Maybe it's not a live customer, but maybe it comes out of customer discovery. In brief, I still look at a pitch much like a sales pitch too, which in my mind is problem, solution, benefit, proof, right? So then you're going through solution and here's the benefit and how I'm differentiated. If you could then add it with, and here are 2 or 3 people that verify that this isn't in the market and they are crazy excited to start on my tool or something like that. That'd be great.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Great. Give it up for Ron.
Yeah, thank you.